If you want to create your own opportunity, you can't let doubt get in the way. Unfortunately, it was a moment of like crisis. It was a moment where Hurricane Maria had hit Puerto Rico. And as a musician, I was a musician. I am a musician, but I was full-time musician. And so we had no work. We had no power for a whole year and a half. So it was a moment where I had to make really, really tough decisions. So it's one of those things where for survival, like how we say in Spanish, la madre es la hija de la invención, which is like something like a crisis is the mother of invention. So it really pushed me to make a really hard decision, a really scary decision that ended up really being really good for me. So I moved to Philadelphia, and then I took a bus up to New York, and I started knocking on doors to become a tattoo artist because that's just what I always wanted to do. I was a visual artist when I was in high school. I did sculpture and I did painting. And my grandfather was a Tuskegee Airman, first black pilots in the United States, who became an art teacher. And he taught me everything. He taught me a lot of things. So I kind of want to continue that legacy of visual arts. I was in a place of uncertainty. I kind of didn't understand what had happened to me. It was kind of just a very sudden thing, the hurricane, and then moving to New York, and I only had like $300, and I was homeless, and it was kind of just a hard pill to swallow that I was homeless, and I was couch surfing for like, thankfully I had friends that took me in here and there, and I was just moving around, and I was homeless for a year and a half, while I was while I was doing my tattoo apprenticeship, and while I was trying to get money, trying to like get gigs so I could sing to sustain me. The music would kind of sustain me while I was doing my apprenticeship. It was definitely a bold leap, for sure, because I kind of, it was just one of those moments where, can I do this? Am I really like, am I too old to do this? Because I was 30. And are they, going to turn me around and not, want to teach me? It's very bold. Like, wanting to be a tattoo apprentice is kind of scary, especially as a woman. You don't really know what you're going to like bump into. So it was definitely bold. But it was one of those moments where I was like, I'm not doing anything else. I might as well. I'm in the best position right now because I don't have a lot of responsibilities and I have time. I feel like I was mostly self-taught because, mentors were not really paying attention to me. So thankfully I had my background and my grandfather, and that really pushed me through. But there was a mentor that was helping me out from Colombia, and I love her. We call her Girasol because we do capoeira, and that's her name, Girasol. Her name is Natureza Tattoo, but she from Colombia. She would keep an eye out for me. She would answer all of my questions. She would really talk me through a lot of things that I needed to know when I started tattooing skin. And then I went to El Catrin Tattoo Parlor here in Long Beach, and Lalo, for sure, he knew that I was super green, and he was very patient with me. But he let me like start tattooing, and yeah, he was great, and that really made a difference. That gave me like let me feel like more of like a legitimate artist after I started tattooing with Lalo. COVID was a slap in the face because it was only 3 years since the hurricane, and I finally was getting things moving, and then COVID hit. It was like, nah, take a step back, go back home, sit, do nothing, or I just practiced, and I just stayed home. But that was one of those moments where just like I wasn't expecting life to stop that way, and for work to stop that way. It was kind of hard, but I did feel like I was already trained for that because I had already gone through it. So it wasn't as much as a shock to have like the world stop, because it was the second time it had happened. I think I felt like people were very responsive and supportive, and they were impressed with my work. So I always say follow the breadcrumbs. If it feels right and people are supporting you, and whoever is there for you and is helping you, just take whatever you can get, take whatever God is sending you. So I felt good about it. Tattooing felt very therapeutic. You know, I was back doing something that I really loved, and that's all I needed. It felt good. I think I always knew that I was detailed and meticulous as a personality trait, but tattooing really brought that out of me. You have to be meticulous. You have to be perfectionist in a way, because it's going to be in your skin for the rest of your life. So the amount of focus, and I have ADD. So something that happens with art and with painting and with tattooing is it just really brings me into the present moment, and I just just lock in a way that I don't think I had before. So it was very therapeutic, and I realized I'm really, really good at this. I'm good at being detailed. I'm also really good at listening to the client and understanding what they want. Also picking up on their energy and their personality as well. Like my shading changes depending on the personality of the client. I know how to shade differently depending on the client. So sometimes like people look at my work and they're like, oh, this is what you do, fine line, light shading. No, I can do heavy shading. You know, it depends on what the energy the client gives me, I give back. And so, yeah, those are cool little things you discover along the way. I made the mistake of waiting until I became a professional artist to start doing content. I should have started immediately. Like the moment I started my tattooing journey, I should have recorded everything. I should have shared everything from the get-go. I don't know why. It was just like I was insecure. I was like, no, I'm just gonna start sharing stuff when I become an artist. So I would say to anybody coming into this, just start documenting your journey from the beginning and share it, because by the time that you're done with your apprenticeship, you'll be able to get clientele. You might just have people lined up for you, you know. I had to build right when I got my license. So I probably would have done it different. Obviously, it's been very positive. I've learned so much about Los Angeles. I'm not from here. I'm Puerto Rican. So the fact that I grew up in the tattoo industry with Mexicans and with the Chicano culture and understanding Chicano tattooing, that's a huge, I love that about my journey. And I've gotten to know Los Angeles intimately in a very personal way. I'm really, really grateful for that. I've met amazing people that love to do what I love to do. My family's really proud of me. so yeah, it's coming together with my music too. You know, I'm able to tattoo my friends who are musicians, and they understand that I share the same love for music, so I can do tattoos for them that mean something. There's always a way. There's always a way. I think in the back of my mind, and everybody's mind at some point, you kind of get really scared, like, how am I going to get there? How am I going to do it? But I think faith, it's really grounded me in my faith when it comes to, I have no idea where this is going. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. And I know God is going to provide a way, and it's going to give me the right people. And I have to pay attention to all those blessings that are along the way that'll help me, guide me to the purpose. I don't need to know how I'm going to do it. I don't need to know exactly how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to have faith. And that's really what this whole journey has taught me, for sure. Creating a new opportunity, it really depends on you knowing your strengths and really understanding who you are. If you want to write them down, like what you're really good at, write it down. And if you're good at it and you believe that you're good at it, it's going to happen. It's going to work out. That's really what I would say. If you want to create your own opportunity, you can't let doubt get in the way. Same thing. You got to have faith. And there's always this little voice that's like, oh, you're not good enough, yada, yada, yada. You got to throw that one. You got to throw that forward, push forward, and not let it like consume you. The thing I really learned was like with music, which is my first love, and that's never going to change. I'm way harder on myself with music. But with tattooing, because I don't know what it was, because I have that little voice chattering at me with music, I didn't have space for it in tattooing. So I saw the difference of what happened when I was in tattooing, and I just did not let that voice get in the way. So that was really special. But I know that for a lot of people, tattooing is their only love. And so they're really hard on themselves, and that voice can sabotage. So if you're trying to create an opportunity for yourself, belief in yourself is key, number one. It's never how you imagined. It's always going to be better or different. I would just say there's always ups and downs in the tattooing industry. Once you get there, there's just going to be a higher place to go to, and a higher place and a higher place and a higher place. It's just, it doesn't stop. So definitely celebrate all the achievements and stick to the positive and work on everything else, to get to that next place. But I guess staying grateful to where you're at and looking back and staying grateful to that and appreciating everything and everybody that helped you, and then looking forward and, believing that you're always enough and you can go as far as you want. What's next? What's next is traveling. I want to travel. I'm getting married. I want to travel before having kids. I want to go to different tattoo shops. I want to tour. I'm putting out my album this year, finally, after many years. So it's really going to be enjoying the fruits of my labor. Everything that we've built, me and my fiance together. And the level up is eventually having my own space, having my own shop, hopefully going back home to Puerto Rico and giving back to my community, teaching art students, teaching music students, everything that I've learned. That's the end goal.